These are the men and women of Beaver Valley, the bravest of the brave. They fought fearlessly for their country, their city, their community, and for the ideals we share as Americans. They served proudly in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf War, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Here now are their stories, their own experiences in their own words, the words of the heroes of Beaver Valley. Lifelong Center Township resident Edward Anderson was drafted in 1943 when he was 18 years old.
Well, basic training was Miami Beach down on the Gulf, which sounded like a vacation, but it was push-ups and marching and just learning to be a little military-like.
After basic training, Anderson was assigned to the Army Air Corps and was trained to be an engineer in a flight crew. When his mechanical training was completed, he was assigned to the 490th Bomb Squadron, located in Southeast Asia. He and his crew hitched rides on supply planes to get to their destination.
They wasn't made for pleasure flights. You sat on the each side of the cargo, and there was 50-gallon drums of gasoline in there. That's what they hauled. Finally, when we did get there, the outfit was in the process of moving, and when we got to where the headquarters was, there was nothing there. It was all gone except the kitchen. We just sat there and waited because we didn't know what we were going to have to do. And finally, they come back and picked us up with B-25s.
The 490th would become known as the Burma Bridge Busters because of their expertise in destroying bridges. Their mission was to interrupt the supply line the Japanese used to support their war effort.
There was very few days that I didn't fly because I guess it was good for the mind. Well, they didn't have anything else to do over there. The first time it took off from the strip and looked down, it was right in the middle of the jungle. And you wonder why you're there. What effect, bombing a jungle would have on the war. But evidently, it was more than I could see because all you could see was jungle.
The outfit had moved to Warazup, Burma, and created new airstrips for takeoffs and for landings.
That was just a hole in the jungle. We slept in tents over there. When you flew 200 hours, you were then eligible for R&R. I evidently was pretty confident in my pilot because most of the time I flew with my pilot. And he and I was the youngest ones on the crew. So when I got in, I got my 200 hours in, I only had 49 missions. And for some reason, I was wanting to fly 50 missions.
Shortly after Anderson flew his 50 missions, the outfit decided to move again, this time to Hancheng, China.
The effect of the bombing of bridges was perfected by the squadron to the place where it was moving fast and it was working.
Anderson also participated in night missions.
We flew at night what they called the Burma mail. The Burma mail was pamphlets. They had vegetable seeds sewn in these like a page, 8 by 10 page paper.
When the time came for Anderson to return to the United States, he and fellow crew members went to Calcutta, India, where two troop ships sat side by side.
And they put our bags on one and put us on the other one. And our bags come into New York. And we went out of India, we went south. We was on the wrong doggone ship. We went down to Fremantle and Sydney Australia.
After Australia, Anderson's long journey home continued. The ship went to New Guinea and then to Okinawa, where the ship was advised to leave immediately in an effort to avoid a typhoon.
And it was worse than any of the 490th accident I had. It was on that doggone ship coming back.
Anderson and his fellow soldiers finally reached the United States and returned home.
But it was a very, very good experience for me. The military experience that I had, I think, made me grow up fast. I would recommend it highly.